Hola, mi nombre es Hannah Watson y esta es mi presentación final de Spanish 1502. Hoy les voy a hablar de mi entrenador de Lingua Meeting, Gabriel Gibaja. Gabriel es de Ecuador y vive en la ciudad de Quito. Gabriel es increíblemente divertido, siempre contando chistes durante las sesiones. También es muy paciente, nos ayuda a entender realmente cómo decir las cosas correctamente. Si bien lamentablemente me perdí la semana con el que hablamos sobre nuestras familias debido a conflictos de programación dentro de Lingua Meeting. Hablamos que tarde sobre tus mascotas y cómo se parecen tanto a las mías. Tiene un gato y un cachorro pequeño y nuestros dos perros tienen personalidades locas, mientras que nuestros gatos es muy tranquilos y perezosos. Gabriel explicó que el fútbol y el voleibol son deportes muy populares para jugar donde vive. Si bien le gusta ver fútbol, también encanta participar a la natación. Junto con sus ejercicios, Gabriel dijo que se toma muy en serio las vacunas, porque en su país así lo recuerde. Di que las personas pueden recibir multas por no usar una máscara y no estar vacunadas. Sin embargo, tiene mucha suerte y nunca ha tenido COVID-19. Gabriel es ingeniero mecánico y le apasiona todos los relacionado con las computadoras. También juega muchos videojuegos, lo que estoy seguro la resulta fácil debido a su espacio. Cuando hablamos sobre su lugar de trabajo, dijo que principalmente trabaja desde casa, pero que las muchas mujeres en Ecuador que también están en su campo. Si bien no es un trabajo popular para las mujeres, Ecuador está progresando para volverse muy inclusivo en 4 de enero. This semester was really enlightening for me. I definitely learned a lot more, well, not more, but adding on to what I learned last semester and really got to use it in a more practical way and really expounded on the basics. I learned a lot about the country of Ecuador. I had no idea all of the rich culture that was there, how differently and yet kind of the same. We always have we really talked a lot about COVID-19 one day, and obviously that was something that the world kind of dealt with, but we dealt with it in very different ways, and I just had no idea. I also thought it was really interesting speaking to the different coaches that I had throughout the semester of how language can be impactful not only for somebody to understand you, but to feel seen and feel included, and how great of a tool it is when applying for jobs and when applying for different sorts of things. And I just thought that was really cool. I've definitely learned this semester how to tackle problems in a different way. I had a lot of trouble at the beginning trying to understand and comprehend, trying to use my own studying techniques for language, and getting to speak to Gabriel. I was really like, oh, there's a completely different way of thinking about this, and it doesn't have to be so convoluted all the time, and it doesn't have to be as hard as I'm trying to make it out to be. Just learn the basics first and then you expound upon that, whereas I always went to, let me just read everything and then it'll stick in my mind. And then he told me to, slow down. We're going to tackle this one step at a time. And that was really, really helpful. I definitely think the lingua meetings were the most helpful part of my semester, just because that's like a real-time way of practicing the language that you're trying to learn. I definitely would have gone into it. I know that last semester I kind of, not necessarily, it was a little bit easier, so I was able to grasp more of what the conversations were a little bit faster. But I'm really, really thankful to Gabriel, just because he was really patient, but also pushed us to kind of grasp the information when we needed to grasp the information, and not just really hold our hand and coddle us the whole way through. But he was really supportive if I didn't understand something, or if anybody else was just having a hard time following along. He would kind of slow it down just a little bit and then ask, "You've got it? Are you okay?" And then we could continue on in like a normal pace. So I really, really appreciated that. I think this semester has just been all about the getting down to how Spanish is spoken, on more of a global level, if that makes any sense. Obviously I know we're still in only Spanish 2, so it's not going to be perfect, but it definitely feels more of like an advanced, I kind of understand conjugations now more than I ever have, and I understand, the importance of understanding conjugation and then speaking to somebody in a formal or informal way when they, are you speaking to a friend, or are you speaking to somebody who's in a higher authority that deserves respect? And that's not something I've ever thought of before. And so that was really interesting for me and really helpful for me throughout this entire semester. But I've definitely learned a lot, and I definitely owe a lot to my lingua meeting coach. Those were definitely by far the most helpful things for me this semester, and getting me to pass and having a real understanding of not only the language, but the different cultures that come along with it. I had a couple different lingua meeting coaches this semester, and I would say getting to learn all about how different cultures interact and how they work and how they think a little bit differently on the same subjects and same issues were definitely just really eye-opening for me and really incredible. Thank you so much for watching my presentation, and I hope you have a great rest of your semester. A little bit more with I just remember